Hey everyone, welcome back to the Content Club with myself, Tina Calder from Excalibur Press. Wow, it's been a few days since I have managed to do some recordings, so sorry about that for anyone that might have been waiting. I did get an email from someone asking me when the next one was coming out, so I do apologise. We've been very, very busy. One of the things that we've been busy around is looking at the idea of thought leadership. We've had a lot of clients come through the doors in Excalibur Press over the last year, really asking us to help them supercharge or, I suppose, develop a thought leadership strategy. So I thought that would probably be a really good place to start today. So really what we want to ask is, have you heard of thought leadership? And if you have or haven't, here's what you need to know. And so when it comes to the term thought leadership, you'd be forgiven for thinking that it's a relatively new term. It actually isn't. Everyone from Socrates to Einstein, Newton, a variety of other historical figures would have been considered thought leaders in their field. And then in the last 5 years, the term has gained a lot of popularity as the competition, I suppose, between brands and companies has grown, and attracting the consumer has become increasingly difficult, as we all know. So one of the biggest questions that I get asked is, well, how can you tell if you're a thought leader or whether you should actually become one? And so I thought, well, I'll line up 5 things that you kind of need to know. So I suppose the first thing that you need to know is, what is thought leadership? And it's one of those things. There's several different definitions for it, and the ones that I'm going to give you today are only a few. So do a wee bit of research, because in your field it might be a bit different. But thought leadership to me represents a person or firm that's famous and well known for their expertise and has authority over the competitors. So that person, the brand or the company, usually has a great deal of experience and expertise behind them. Sadly, though, the term thought leader has become so overused in recent years that there's a wealth of people claiming to be thought leaders who just simply don't have what they need to support the title. They either lack expertise, experience, relevance, authority, integrity, trust, among other things. Now, when I looked for some definitions, I found 3 good ones. So Forbes describes a thought leader as: a thought leader is an individual or firm that prospects, clients, referral sources, intermediaries, and even competitors recognise as one of the foremost authorities in selected areas of specialisation, resulting in it being the go-to individual or organisation for said expertise. Sorry about that. They had the grammar in the wrong place. Wikipedia then defines a thought leader as: a thought leader is an individual or firm that is recognised as an authority in a specialised field and whose expertise is sought and often rewarded. Thought leaders are commonly asked to speak at public events, conferences or webinars to share their insight with a relevant audience. And the Oxford English Dictionary gives it a first citation for the phrase in 1887, with a description of Henry Ward Beecher as one of the great thought leaders in America. And the term had earlier in 1876 been applied to Ralph Waldo Emerson, who was said to manifest the wizard power of a thought leader. So as you can see, it isn't a newfangled, hipster digital marketing thing. It's been around for a while. And then I checked out entrepreneur.com, who said it very simply: a thought leader is someone whose views on a subject are taken to be authoritative and influential. So as you can see, there's a few things there that are coming through in all of them, and that's having the authority. And I suppose in order to get that authority, expertise and experience are really important. So what does it take to be a thought leader? Well, when it comes to being a successful thought leader, it's important to assess first whether or not you should be one in the first place. So you might be on a trajectory which will take you to becoming a thought leader, but you have to ask yourself the question, have I got there yet? And there's some things that form, in my opinion, the backbone of a thought leadership strategy. So one of those was skills and a great deal of expertise in the specific field or profession. You have to be actively involved in the field. You have to have a crystal clear thinking and point of view. You have to have authority and credibility. And you have to have strong following in the community. So people who do look up to you and do consider you an authority in the area. So no two thought leaders will ever be the same. And therefore no two thought leadership strategy should be the same. It is essential though to consider what distinguishes you from the crowd. And ask yourself some really hard questions over the quality of the thought leadership content you're creating. And I suppose my third thing is that you've got to be a thought leader. There's no point just talking about it. Thought leadership is not like a status that you can achieve by posting, a single article on a website or sharing a unique thought on social media. It's really a long game where you have to work hard to earn the title, and you have to improve your skills and expertise and credibility, because that's the most important thing in thought leadership. You literally cannot create too much content when it comes to becoming a thought leader. It's really essential that you're always creating good quality, relevant content in the area in which you want to be known as a thought leader. Inc.com advises that to be a successful thought leader, consistency is key. So if you're going to be a thought leader, people have got to remember you. They won't if you're not publishing content on a regular basis. And that content can be in written form, it can be in podcast like this, it can be in video, it could be social media, it could be on TV, it could be in the press and media, wherever that is. It's really important that it's happening on a regular basis, and in my opinion it needs to happen on a wealth of different platforms. So you can't just write a blog all the time. There needs to be lots of different and of course, even if you're providing a few strong memorable articles or podcasts or video or whatever, it's not enough to establish you as a leader. So you've got to commit to that consistent content creation if you're serious about building your brand. And of course, that brings me into number 4. It does take time. This is not a get rich quick scheme. It's not, here's how to be famous. Go on Big Brother for that. So thought leadership is for people who are genuinely serious about the industry that they're in, and they're passionate about telling other people. You can't just step into thought leadership overnight. It's a long-term strategy that requires you to put in time, effort, resource, finance and more. So if you're not willing to invest these things in your thought leadership strategy, there really is no point. You really have to get ready to work hard. And in order to be a successful thought leader, you have to have created a publicity, content, marketing and sales strategy. Having a sales funnel is absolutely key to ensuring that you get the best out of what you're doing. And of course, my last thing, and this is absolutely imperative, you've got to keep learning. So if you want to be a thought leader, you have to keep up to date with your industry, and that is absolutely key to everything you do. Learning really should be a regular part of your life, and a good colleague of mine, chartered marketer Christine Watson of trainingmatchmaker.com, she advises that everyone should have a learning plan. And Training Matchmaker lists thousands of free opportunities where you can learn online, and that includes with Harvard, the Open University, some really massive names out there. So check out trainingmatchmaker.com. And most industries are changing on a daily basis. Markets are evolving, and you'll never be able to say that you know everything about your field or the field in which you're aiming to become a thought leader in. But if you're consistently learning, if you're constantly adapting, then you can be at the forefront of that change. And thought leadership is all about thinking differently, and the only way to do that is to be analysing and learning all the time. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a roundup about thought leadership, and maybe get those neurons firing to see whether or not it's something that might be worth checking out. So this blog does exist in written form. It's on contentclub.excaliburpress.co.uk. That's contentclub.excaliburpress.co.uk. It's a relatively new one. You can find it in there, and on all our social media channels. As always, you can find me everywhere on social media, Tina Calder. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I'm not on Snapchat, haven't quite got there yet. And of course, you can check out the website. That website again is contentclub.excaliburpress.co.uk. And of course, we have a wonderful team here at Excalibur Press of experienced and efficient content creators, copywriters, and publicists. So if there's anything that we can do to help you from strategy right through to development and delivery, please don't hesitate to give me a call on 07 982 628911. That's 07 982 628911. Or you can email me, tina@excaliburpress.co.uk, or indeed just check us out on social and drop us a little message. But thanks very much for tuning in, and looking forward to chatting to you soon.